Do you want to know if these Colt pegs will fit your bike? Today we're going to do and explain a review on the Colt Butter Lite pegs. As always, we want you to hang tight because later on in this video we're going to tell you how you guys can win a bunch of free stuff from our bike shop, including a parts package and a free bicycle by just commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing this video on YouTube. So yeah, let's get down to these Colt pegs. These Colt pegs are designed for, I would say, heavy skate park riding and definitely heavy street. But they're kind of a cool peg because they're a little bit longer than the normal 4-inch peg, and they're a little bit shorter than the long 4.5-inch peg. So this is pretty cool because it's kind of a happy medium. So yeah, let's get down to it and talk a little bit about what these pegs have to offer, and if they fit your bike. So first of all, it actually comes with 3 pieces. It comes with an actual aluminum core. This is aluminum core. This goes inside of this actual peg sleeve, and this is a peg sleeve. This slides over, and then it comes with this axle adapter. And if you want to call this apart, it also comes with a free Colt sticker. Yeah, let's kind of talk about each one and then kind of go from there. So let's talk about the axle adapter. A lot of you guys want to know if this fits your bike or if it doesn't. The way these bicycle pegs fit on your actual bike, they have a hole right here that's not threaded, and then you usually need a ratchet. And not really prepared for this, but and an extension. So usually you need this, and what you'll do is you'll place this extension on this actual socket with the ratchet. You kind of get what we're going through. I think this thing's a little bent up, so I'm not gonna really show you totally. But the idea is to put your axle nut on something like this, and then you actually thread it or put it inside of here, and then you actually thread this axle nut onto your actual axle. Or if you have a bolt, you do the same thing, but you stick the bolt through. If you have a small axle, which is like the little 3/8 axle that you see on most of the stock bikes, you're gonna wanna use this axle adapter. This axle adapter just fits inside of here, and it actually takes up the space for a 14mm axle. So if you have the large axles, you're just gonna bolt it on without the actual adapter. If you have the small axle, you're gonna wanna bolt it together with the adapter in there. So this one fits pretty much any bicycle. If you got a female or male axle, this one will fit with the adapter. If you got a 14mm, which is a large axle, these will fit on there, and you just bolt them right up. The thing is that they're kind of thick, so there's a lot of department store bikes out there and stuff like that, and they just don't have enough axle left on it to actually thread these on your bike. So the easiest way to figure that out is if you look on your actual dropouts, which is a little metal plate that your wheel bolts to. Once this thing's bolted down all the way, you want to see if there's any axle left over on the end. So you want to see if there's about this much axle on the end sticking out, or maybe a little bit more, about the size of the axle nut. If you have that much axle sticking out, I would say to about here, then you can definitely run these pegs, because these pegs are kind of thick. So if you look at the material, I don't know if you can see in there, I'll try to angle it, but this material is about the size of this axle nut. So if you slide this peg on and your axle's not very long, when you try to thread this on, it'll only grab a couple threads, and that's just not good, because of when you go to grind or something like that, it'll just snap all those little threads off, and then you'll have a stripped axle. This bolt will probably be stripped, and you won't be able to mount your front wheel again. So to see if it fits, just make sure that there's about a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch, I would say probably a 1/4 inch axle sticking out past your axle nut. Sometimes there is a washer, so if it's coming close, you could probably take off the washer A lot of people don't run the washer. So yeah, that's pretty much how you bolt it on, but you're actually gonna also have this sleeve that goes on here. So yeah, we talked about the adapter. So now let's talk about the core. The core is pretty much the skeleton of the actual peg. If you just ran an actual peg with just this plastic here, most likely that this plastic would just shatter, or it would just kind of be like a how'd you say, just like a noodle or just something super soft, and it would just end up bending and damaging the plastic. So what this is pretty much the skeleton. So this goes this goes onto your axle, and this goes inside of the actual sleeve. So this is what mainly takes up all the bashing, all the hits and stuff like that. So if you notice, this peg actually has a pretty thick wall. That's because this is made out of aluminum. Aluminum's a little bit, I would say, softer than like steel or anything like that. But for the weight to mass ratio, aluminum's really, really strong for how much material's on here. So the internal piece is extruded, and then the external is actually CNC machined down. You could hear how it is machined down. They have little grooves right here where a lathe or a CNC machine came around and actually machined this thing all the way down. And then if you notice, it also has a little step. The reason why it has a little step is because this peg right here, or this peg sleeve, has a hole so that this thing locks in real nice. So that's pretty cool. So when you actually slide it on, it slides over, and it ends up being pretty flush. This core is created out of 6061 aluminum, and like I said, it's CNC machined down to perfection. If you slide these on here, they get super tight, and it's very hard to get them off. So yeah, definitely cool that it has this core. But let's talk about the sleeve. The sleeve is a nylon plastic. It's injection molded, and it has a pretty cool finish on it. This is like a textured finish, and then it has like it's actually gloss plastic, but with that textured finish, it gives it like this crazy matte sheen look. Looks really dope. And then it also got the Colt logo on one side and the Butter logo on the other side. I'm kind of looking at them so you guys can't really see it. So yeah, pretty cool. But if you notice that the plastic is super thick, a lot of the other peg sleeves that I've seen aren't quite this thick. This one looks about 1 millimeter or 2 thicker, so this one's definitely gonna last a little bit longer. As far as like the thickness of that whole entire peg, you're looking about 40 millimeters big or thick or girth wise. So this is 40 millimeters thick, and then the actual peg length, like I said, it's 4.3 inches long. So most of the guys used to ride 4-inch pegs, which are probably about there, and then nowadays they're running 4.5 and then 4.75 inch. So these ones are a happy medium, kind of in between. And if you're not too sure about running the 4.5 inch pegs and you're used to riding the 4, maybe try some of these out because they're kind of in between. And if you like how these ones are, maybe we'll try the 4.5, but it's not such a drastic jump. The cool thing about having a little bit longer peg is that, like on feebles and stuff like that, it just gives you a little bit more time or anything like that to stay on the ledge, and it just stays on the ledge or the rail a little bit longer. So I mean, that's why people are going to a little bit longer peg. But yeah, very cool looking peg. It's not super thin and it's not super long. If you guys are riding the Doomsday pegs, which are the metal pegs, these peg sleeves are actually exactly the same diameter as the old school Doomsday peg. So if you don't want to change the diameter size, then definitely pick these pegs up because it's the same exact size. So yeah, this is pretty much how they work together. I know I'm kind of going slow, but I want to try to cover everything. So this is a sleeve. I mean, this is the core, and this is a sleeve, and they just basically slide in. But notice how as I get to the end, it gets really tough. So I'm gonna push it in here, try to get it all the way in there. It's not all the way, so I'm gonna. Okay. So yeah, it's all the way in there. So now you look at the edge. This edge is really thick. You can tell that these pegs will last a long time. It just got a lot more girth than a lot of the other pegs that I've seen. So I think that's very cool. Another thing is, notice how there's a slight little distance or thickness difference on the sleeve and the actual peg core. This is a great idea because when you actually tighten down your peg, usually what happens is you're tightened to the inner core and this outer sleeve is actually pushing up against your dropout, and plastic is softer than aluminum, so the plastic tends to squish a little bit. So when it squishes, it's gonna still have enough distance here to make the actual peg stick to the actual frame, and it's not gonna allow this peg sleeve to spin. You gotta realize that you're grinding on like rough surfaces, or you may hit a rail and it has a sticky spot. It's gonna wanna actually spin if this thing's bottomed out. So I've seen a lot of other pegs that weren't manufactured as good as these ones, and they pretty much spin when you're grinding and stuff like that. They make a lot of noise and it just looks kind of retarded as far as like having a peg that's spinning on your actual bicycle. So having that little lip is a great idea. It's a great design, and it just works really well. So that's pretty cool. But I don't know, overall, I think these pegs are really cool. Like I said, if you're trying to go from a 4-inch peg to a 4.5 inch and you're not too sure you want to make that big jump, this is a cool happy medium. If you are riding steel pegs and you want something to grind a lot faster, these pegs will definitely do that. If you want a peg that's going to last a little bit longer than the other plastic pegs, then I would say definitely get this peg because it is definitely thicker than a lot of the other pegs. This one doesn't shatter like a lot of the other pegs that I've seen too that are this thick. They just these just hold up. They're very strong. They look pretty cool too. So yeah, the guys over there at Colt did an awesome job. I think these pegs look amazing. They definitely look amazing on your bike. If you're riding all Colt stuff, might as well get the Colt pegs and grind like butter. So props to those guys, Robbie over there and Neil at Colt. Did a killer job on these pegs. So if you like what they did, pick up a set of these. You can find them on our website at stackbmx.com. These ship out the next day. If you live anywhere in the US, we get them to you in about 3 days. Yeah, really quick. Try to get you on your bike and get you out there grinding, having some fun. But yeah, cool. That's a Colt Butter Lite peg. So sick with it, guys. We also told you that we're going to tell you guys how to win a bunch of free stuff from our bike shop. So at 2,500 subscribers, we're getting super close. We're going to give away a free pair of tires, free pair of grips, and a free pair of pedals, and a seat. All you got to do is like this video, turn on your notification bells, subscribe to this channel, share this video, and then comment below. Tell us what you like about these videos, what you don't like about these videos, what other products you want us to do review on, other tech tips or anything like that, how to fix your bike. Anything that's in your mind, we want to know so that we can incorporate them to our YouTube channel and give you guys information to keep riding your bikes and to know what to buy in BMX. So yeah, all you got to do is do that to enter the contest, and yeah, they'll enter you to the parts package. And then at 5,000 subscribers, we're gonna give away a free bicycle retailed at $300, shipped to you guys free of charge. So the faster we get there, the faster we give away this bicycle and these parts. So yeah, thanks a lot for subscribing to our channel. If you guys want to watch some other videos that YouTube suggested for you, hit that link right there. If you want to watch more explained reviews, check out that link there. If you want to buy these pegs, hit that link right there. If you want to subscribe and enter, hit that link right there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.